Welcome to Between the Sheets, the non-judgmental podcast where we're going to cover various sexual health and wellness topics. I'm your host, Dr. Stephanie Zwonitzer. I'm a urology and sexual health nurse practitioner, and I love helping my patients and listeners discover and develop their most satisfying sexual experiences. Between the Sheets is here to normalize the conversations about sexual health and cover everything from basic anatomy to the most taboo topics and everything in between. Real talk, real pleasure, one episode at a time. So come on, let's get between the sheets. This episode is sponsored by Boston Scientific and its educational website on erectile dysfunction, edcure.com. One study estimated that more than 50% of men over the age of 40 have some degree of erectile dysfunction, which can be frustrating and confusing. Go to edcure.com to find information on erectile dysfunction and treatment options, including long-term treatment options offered by Boston Scientific. Boston Scientific does not endorse any statements or opinions expressed during this episode. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Between the Sheets. I'm excited to have you here, as well as having our guest, Amy Reiley. We're going to tackle aphrodisiacs today, and I would love to welcome Amy here and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Hi, thanks for having me. So basically, I help people have a better sex life by making more considerate food choices.
Okay.
That's
I
it.
love that. I love that. Straightforward
Explain a
and
little
very
bit more
helpful.
about what goes in and you'll get better things out. Basically, I mean, I could go into the whole, like, I have some credentials, but really that's probably what people are interested in.
That's amazing. So what got you into this field? Because I don't think that you went to college for learning aphrodisiacs and was like, hey, this is it for me.
Yeah, no, I kind of did. Well, I went to graduate school.
Okay.
I got a master's degree in gastronomy, which is the study of everything about food except cooking. And so it's the intersection of food and, food history, food in the arts, food and culture. And we had to choose an area of specialty. And I chose food and sex.
I love everybody who follows me knows my philosophy is everybody gets to have sex and they should have great sex. So I love this. This is fabulous.
Yeah.
So okay, where do we start? What do we look for? Are we planning menus completely? Are we just doing it like pre-sex? Like, how does this work?
Okay. So really, it starts with getting to know yourself. We sort of think about it as, oh, I'm going to seduce someone. Oh, I'm going to plan this romantic dinner. But no, it's you start with like, how does food really affect me?
Mm.
How do I feel? When after I eat, while I'm eating, after I eat, are there foods that are kind of a turn on to me? Like, are there foods that just make me feel sensual or sexy? Are there foods that obviously there are foods that make us not feel sexy? We've all had that experience. And then, I also, of course, think about like, what foods should you never eat on a first date? That for me is, and I even do that with colleagues. Like if I'm out with new colleagues, maybe I should not taco because I've become so conscious of like, I look like when I'm eating this.
Right.
I want to look cute. So there's definitely a little vanity aspect, but that's all in feeling good, right? It's all about how do I feel? How can I feel better? And you'll start to notice if you do this, that if you shift your food choices toward the ones that make you feel better, you're actually, eating better. You'll naturally start eating a little better, making choices with nutrition that your body needs. And I will add here, because I kind of cheated on my credentials, I am certified as a nutrition coach. I have not just studied the history of food, I have also studied nutrition. But it really is, it really happens for all of us. Once you start to become conscious of it, you can't help but eat better. It's kind of magical. And I know there are a lot of people who are going, oh, that's not going to happen for me. Or, I want this to happen for me. So if you're really fighting this right now, or this really resonates with you, I have something for you. I want you to try. Go to my website, go to eatsomething.com/podcast. I have an exclusive little exercise I want you to try. It's only for people listening. And that it will walk you through your meal and walk you through how you become more aware.
Okay.
And how to make that shift. Just make one little shift,
Yeah.
Where it takes you. And of course, you can repeat it every day if you want, if you like the results. But it's a great way, whether you're a skeptic or whether you're curious, it's a great way to kind of get to know this concept. So eatsomething sexy.com/podcast. It's there waiting for you. Okay.
I love that. I love that. That's awesome. So, all right. So if we kind of want, okay, let's say starting with just like date night, and then we'll kind of work our way into how we can incorporate it every day into our lives. So date night's coming up. We want to be sexy. I know my boyfriend and I have a rule that on Mexican night, it's either sex before or no sex because
Yes, see, this is my little, yes, he's very aware. Like, good.
yes. So, I mean, okay, we want to be sexy. We want to have this, and a lot of times I recommend for my patients and clients to have sex before you even go out because a lot of us don't feel sexy on a full stomach. But if you do want something that's getting you turned on, kind of setting the tone for date night, what are some things that we could incorporate?
Yeah, it's funny. Over the years, I've worked with a lot of chefs, some pretty well-known chefs on their Valentine's menus.
Mm,
And I have had to like beg them to please pull back on these rich and indulgent ingredients and
yeah.
let people something that will energize them so that they actually will feel like going home and being a little more romantic rather than like loosening the belt and putting their feet up. So, but that's basically what it is. Foods make lighter food choices. Avoid the pasta Alfredo. I mean,
Makes
it's
sense.
as it is. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with pasta Alfredo. You're not going to have sex after you eat it.
Right.
That's all.
No, you're going to go into a food coma.
Heavy starches, uh, lots of fats. So fried food, a big steak, not great choices.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So something light and energy. So that's good. Are there particular food groups just in general that help more so than others, or is it really particular foods?
It's more particular foods. Like I couldn't say, well, eat only, well, I'm never going to tell you to eat only vegetables. You'll hate me. And I wouldn't eat that way. So it is particular foods. I mean, I'm going to mention my website again, but it's just because I happen to have a great resource there. On my website, Eat Something Sexy, I have highlighted 88 different ingredients that are historically considered aphrodisiac. And so just to give you an example, like I could name 88 of them right here, and it's not necessarily a food group. Seafood is a great choice. I will say that. All seafood is historically aphrodisiac. It's tied with the Greek goddess Aphrodite, but many seafoods are also really great for your sexual health. And it's lean protein. It gives you energy.
Yeah.
So these are things we're looking for. Things that'll energize you a little bit, or at least feel light, are great. So seafood is always a great choice at a romantic dinner. You really do love pasta, and I get it. I totally understand. Maybe look for like a vegetable filled ravioli or like a mushroom filled ravioli, something like that, instead of like a big bowl of noodles.
Yeah.
Something that has a little, there's a little less,
Yeah.
or a half size portion also works.
Okay.
Wild game is the other thing that I love to talk about, and people are always like, what? But
Yeah.
wild game is very sexy. It's a great source of protein. You'll get omega-3 fatty acids, which put you in a better mood. It's a mood enhancer. And it's also, omega-3 fatty acids also help with lubrication.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. So, and the other thing that I like about the wild game is it's usually very lean in the fat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's lean, it's energizing, and it's something a little different. So
Yeah.
it's special, which I also
Right.
like. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. And what are there things that we can incorporate into our daily life? Like, certainly for different nutrition things or different diseases, things like that, you eat different smaller meals or larger meals or whatever. What kind of things should we be doing to just enhance our sexiness?
So it depends on the person. Men and women are a little different from one another, obviously. But even beyond that, we're all a little different from one another. For most of us, one of the easiest things we can do is drink more water. Staying hydrated is really great for your sex life. And also a lot of the hydrating foods to be aphrodisiac and have a lot of nutrition for sexual health, like cucumbers and watermelon are both great for your sex life.
Okay.
So yeah, so anything hydrating is always good for everyone. So that's
Okay.
a great thing to consider. Some of us do need more protein.
Mhm.
Some of us need, the needs are different for everyone. Some men need help with testosterone production,
Mhm.
some to pull back on that.
Mhm.
So, if you want to eat for testosterone production, things like almonds are a great choice. Yeah, yeah.
That's
For
great.
women, tofu is a fabulous
Interesting.
choice. Yeah, really is. And I actually, people are always like, I hate tofu. I'm like, how can you hate it? It tastes like nothing, right? It's like a
Yeah.
blank canvas. Turn it into a vegan meatball. Turn it into something like that. Add some herbs and spices. Put some tomato sauce on it. It's delicious.
Okay. Okay.
And it
That's
tastes good.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
actually have a recipe for the most amazing chocolate mousse, and it's
oh,
made with tofu. I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm always
okay.
looking for alternatives. Tofu chocolate mousse. You can't go wrong.
Wow, that's exciting. That is a great idea. Tell me more. You said the testosterone. I have so many guys that are always like working with their testosterone, and some of them are like borderline, like they really don't need testosterone replacement. And I always tell them about, sleeping, lifting weights, those kinds of things. But I'm really interested in what you have to say about besides the almonds. What else can help with that?
Oh gosh. I'm of course I'm on the spot. I'm blanking on what are the testosterone production foods.
Of
Yeah, yeah,
course.
all nuts because we've already mentioned that nuts are great, and I particularly like almonds for men. But I'm completely blanking. But believe me, it's the most easily go to your favorite AI and ask it, and then fact check it. But you
Yeah.
can get a really great list of foods that help support. I mean, they're not. It's not a magic pill, of course.
Yeah.
Choosing foods that help support testosterone production can be huge.
Some foods help with lubrication for women. So you said seafood does that?
So omega-3 fatty acids
Omega
are
3 fatty acids.
actually,
Okay.
yeah, are great for supporting lubrication. So if you like seafood, that is obviously a great choice. Flax seeds are also very high in omegas. So that's another great, that's sort of the go-to choice, right?
Okay.
Or make some chia pudding. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, I think that's great. So, how can, a couple start to incorporate meals or spices, whatever it might be? How can they start to incorporate that in a daily life so they just kind of always are ready and in the mood?
Okay, so remember I had the worksheet. That's a great place to start because you start to see patterns for yourself because it's one of those things that's very individual.
Sure.
Certainly there are foods that tend to be better for women and foods that tend to be more beneficial for men, but we're all going to have our own patterns, deficiencies, as well as tastes and preferences. And I don't
Sure.
want to tell someone to eat things you hate, right?
Right.
If you really hate the tofu, don't eat it. But certainly you can start to eat for your sexual health, and it starts with the hydration. And honestly, for me, the first thing I do is I try to get those five. I know they're not in fashion any longer, but the five fruits and vegetables early in the day. I get in 5 servings of fruits and vegetables because not they all and different colors, so very
Okay.
colorful. I'm not going to eat 5 oranges.
Yeah.
No, 5 different fruits and vegetables, because they offer different benefits. And then I'm getting a pretty well-rounded
Yeah.
collection of vitamins and minerals that way.
Yeah. I love that. Are there other foods that are really good for I guess I'm thinking more about like the connection, right? Like
Oh
your
yeah,
meal time together and getting that connection. Let's talk about that. What can we do
yeah.
there?
And that, of course, again depends on the person. So,
Mhm.
like for me, the sexy food is a glass of champagne and some oysters. That's a sexy snack.
Okay.
My husband hates both of those things.
Yes.
So it's just not going to go well. He's going to go hungry and be a little hangry about the whole situation if that's what I serve. But, things that have a texture, like oysters are very slippery and sensual, and they've got, this aroma of the ocean. Things like that are a great choice for that kind of shared couple time. One that really surprises people, and I always like to recommend it, is coffee.
Okay.
Have a shot of espresso after that dinner. It'll give you that little lift of energy. I mean, obviously not if you're one of those people who it will be affected, like it will never sleep again. Please don't do that. But if it doesn't, if it just gives you a couple of hours of extra
Mhm.
energy in the evening, to enjoy time with your partner, it's great. But also, coffee enhances mood.
Oh, yeah.
You're not only wide awake, you're also in a better mood.
Yeah.
And so maybe a little morning delight, maybe bring your partner some coffee in bed can
Okay.
be effective. Take a few extra minutes to linger in the morning. That's
Yeah.
always a good.
Yeah, and I like a lot of my patients that have erectile dysfunction or lower testosterone. We like to take advantage of morning erections because they tend to be stronger. The testosterone is higher in the morning. So bringing that coffee could be a nice little addition to that.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
that, those are some of my suggestions. Some, if you like spice,
Hmm.
chili peppers can kind of help you get in the mood. They raise your body temperature.
Yeah,
So
just
you're
make
gonna
sure you
be a
wash
little
your
more
hands.
likely to tear off your clothes.
Yeah.
They also make your tongue tingle. Your lips may flush a little bit. If you eat enough, you can have an endorphin rush. I have never in my life eaten enough chilies to experience that,
Yeah.
but it's possible, and people find it to be a real turn on.
Awesome. As long as you wash your hands before you touch each other in your private
My
parts.
gosh, yeah, that is a great point. Use a fork.
We're going to have a lot of issues tonight.
No finger foods with chili peppers.
That's so funny. Okay, so I am allergic to shellfish. I don't do oysters or anything like that because it's also closely related and I'm like anaphylactically allergic.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't mess with it. So what is something that I can kind of in place of the seafood that would be good for me?
So let's say, well, what do you like? I mean, that's a great place to
You
start.
know, I am from the Midwest. I am a meat and potatoes kind of girl.
Um, Well, see, we're gonna go the wild game with you.
Okay. All
Maybe
right.
skip the potatoes, or I have a friend who a aphrodisiac foods cookbook author who developed a really wonderful recipe of making half mashed potatoes, half mashed cauliflower, to the point where
Mm,
you can tell that there's cauliflower in it, to really lighten it up, as well as add some extra nutritional benefit.
yeah,
Potatoes do have a lot of nutrition, and I don't want to
I do.
discount that. I love a good potato, but there's no potato meal in sexy time. They just don't.
Right. Right. And it's heavier, like it's if you eat a baked potato, you're done for a while.
So done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you make the mashed potatoes with cauliflower with your wild
Okay.
game, there you go.
Yeah. That's a great idea. I love that. Yeah, it's always interesting to me. I currently live in Maryland and crabs are such a big thing around here. And so when people find out that I'm allergic to shellfish, they're like, oh my gosh. And I was like, don't worry, I'm not from here. This is fine with me. But if somebody told me I could never have a steak again, we would have a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what other kind of things have you kind of uncovered in this aphrodisiac world that our listeners are going to want to know about?
Wow. I mean, there's so much. Where do I begin? I think it really starts with exploring more texture and temperature. It's really thinking about the sensations of your food, exploring that a little more. It's not necessarily, I mean, it is if you want to eat for sexual health, it is totally about the food choice. But in terms of having that after that sensual experience, this, enjoying the sensuality of a meal, it's slowing down and sort of thinking about those textures, those temperatures, all of the aromas, all of those sensations that come along with it.
Hmm.
And of course, slowing down and enjoying just being with your partner and being slowed down with your partner.
Yes. Yes. I know it's so important. We always rush everything that we do now. And half the time we're eating meals and we're on our phones and we're not truly connecting. And I think that really is such a big part of it. Almost more than what you're eating is just finding that actual connection. Like eye contact after all this time, eye contact is so important. And we miss that a lot.
Yeah. You don't have to go overboard with like figuring out the aphrodisiacs. It's slow down and observe.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That's amazing. So I know that one of the other things that you do is wine tasting and competitions and things like that. So I don't drink anymore. I used to drink. I have no problem with it. I just have chosen not to. But is there certain aspects of that that can help in the aphrodisiac way?
Well, definitely. I mean, first, the obvious. a small amount of alcohol can really lower inhibition, make you feel a little more free. And honestly, it can help you kind of slow down, right? If you're like, go, 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 sitting down and enjoying that glass of wine or whatever the spirit is that you enjoy, that can definitely help. There was also some really quirky research in the 90s on scents of wine replicating scents of human pheromones.
Okay.
So there is the potential that just the aroma of a glass of wine could turn you on, which I
Okay.
kind of love that idea. Not sure
Yeah.
if it ever happened to me, but I really love it in theory.
Yeah. That is really nice. I mean, the smell of wine is just such a relaxing thing, just the smell of it to me. So I'm sure that there is some truth to that as well.
It's funny. I was at a tasting earlier today, and there was one wine. It was a professional tasting, so you have to go through like 50 wines. It's not for fun.
Yeah.
And we're spitting, by the way, which I know makes it sound even worse, but I just want people to not think that I am like drinking 50
You didn't
glasses
come
of
away
wine.
10 glasses of wine deep.
But I got to one wine where I just wanted to sit there and just smell the glass for the rest of
Yeah.
the day. It was just so intriguing. Maybe I was turned on. Maybe that's what happened.
There you go. Are there other liquors or alcohols that also do that besides wine?
I don't know of any. I don't think anyone ever looked at replicating the scent of pheromones. I will say that there were also some studies, some lab studies on scents and arousal that found that certain food scents are arousing, one of which for men is vanilla. So potentially like a vanilla vodka, maybe, or a vanilla rum
Okay.
would do
Sure.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I like that. It's so interesting because a lot of times, women who have difficulty relaxing or being in the mood or whatever, their doctors will say, oh, just have a glass of wine and you'll be fine. And I know that there's a level of that can relax you and can be part of it. But it's such a disservice to women sometimes when that's what they're told, because there
Yeah.
is so much more to our complexity than just have a glass of wine.
Yes. I mean, I fully believe in having a glass of wine, but not like as medicating as
Right.
medicating.
Right. Yes, yes. No, I think that's amazing. What are some other tips that you have for our listeners in regards to things that they can eat and drink in improving their sexual health and wellness?
Ooh. So let's see. We talked about some of protein is really important, and we tend to
Okay.
forget, especially women
Yeah.
tend not to get enough protein, and we forget how important it is, just not only just for daily function, but also especially for sexual function,
Mhm.
um, and even potentially sex drive. So, if you're feeling low, try to figure out ways to get more protein.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that,
I'm a huge believer in protein as well. I think it's really important. And like you said, especially for women, and as we get older, it takes more to keep our muscles nice and strong and healthy. And it's so important. Do you have any foods that you recommend for kind of supporting women as they're going through perimenopause and menopause and they're kind of going through some changes that maybe their libido isn't there and stuff? What can they do to support themselves that way?
is so tough, right?
Yeah.
That is one of the toughest times. I am not an expert in this area. I have been doing some research for a book that I'm working on. I'm working on two books, Passion Pantry for him and Passion Pantry for her,
Okay.
to talk about how the whole concept of it all starts with how you stock your kitchen,
Okay.
right? Your
Yeah.
sex life starts with how you stock your kitchen, and kind of looking at in the particulars for men and for women. And I think the book for women is going to end up being about 50 pages longer than the one for men, because of how much a woman's body and sexual function needs change throughout her life, in particular during that time period. And it's tough. It's really tough. Tofu is actually one of the foods that comes up constantly
Okay.
in my work, in my research.
What is it about tofu that is so good
Well,
for
it's
us?
soy in
Okay.
general, but I don't know why tofu keeps coming up consistently, specifically. And I don't know if it's because of the processing, because it is a
Okay.
processed food,
Right.
but soy in general. And so, it's easy to enjoy soybeans. Soy is one of those funny foods, though, where you can have too much. So you have to be careful.
Yeah.
not to have too much. Because I know people will go overboard and just go, okay, well, I'm going to have soy milk in the morning and soybeans at lunch and tofu at dinner. No, you gotta balance it out and sort of stagger it. But it's tough. Citrus fruits are also supposed to be great for women.
Okay.
And chocolate is supposedly dark chocolate. And I'm not the research. I cling to this one because I love it. There is research, but it's like maybe not enough. Chocolate, supposedly dark chocolate, can help balance vaginal pH.
Interesting. I have not heard that. That is interesting.
It's an acidic food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm fully supportive of that. Although dark chocolate is not my favorite. I like some good old milk chocolate.
I can't resist dark chocolate. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And
No, I
better,
think
really. Bonus points for adding some cocoa powder.
yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's great. I think it's so important for people to have holistic ways of working on their health and improving their life that, we have so many things that we can throw medicines at you, but they end up just being Band-Aids. And if we can get people to eat better, move more, and get sleep at night, sleep is so important.
Yeah.
Do you have any things that help people kind of just in their overall health kind of, I know we all know the nutrition things, but from your perspective, things that are really important, the building blocks of just really being healthier and making good choices?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we've covered a lot. I mean, I always start with water.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just so unbelievable. Water and fiber.
Yeah.
Fiber is really crucial to your sex life.
Yep.
And we don't talk about it or think about it. And that seems weird, but it's really is a crucial thing. And a lot of us do not get anywhere near enough fiber.
Okay.
So a lot of the foods we talked about today, though, are great sources of fiber. The soybeans, the almonds, what else do we say? The chia seeds, the flax, these are all sources of fiber. So you can definitely get it very easily, but it can be really incredibly beneficial, not only to obviously how you feel every day, but how sexy you feel every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah, I think, water is such a big deal. I agree with you. And most people do not get enough, but just plain good old water is very important. And I
Yeah.
love what you brought up about the fiber because not only is it good for so many things, but it also helps keep us regular with our bowel movements. And nothing makes me feel less sexy if I'm backed up or things are too runny or whatever. Like, and if there's any backdoor play, you got to be clean and taken care of.
Yes. Yes. Fiber is so important to your sex life. It's right up there, like top five
Yeah.
most important things to do.
I love that. I love that. I don't think we've even touched on that in the year and a half that this podcast has been going. So I love it. It's a great tip. I love it. If people wanted to learn more from you, be in touch with you, how can they get in touch with you?
So I mentioned before, the best place to find out more about me and what I do is go to eatsomething.sexy.com. I have that guided exercise for you at eatsomething.sexy.com/podcast, which is a really great way to sort of dive further into this whole idea. I do have resources there as well, specifically on sexual health, and I go into men's and women's, and we have recipes and all kinds of fun things too. So yeah, that's where to find me.
That's great. I love it. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge with us. I think we all have a grocery list now to go shopping for. So I love that. Thank you for being here, Amy. As always, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Go ahead and check out reviveish.com. If you're looking for any hormone health, we can help you out there. And as always, have some fun between the sheets. Thank you for joining us and exploring sexual health topics here on Between the Sheets. New episodes are available every Wednesday. Please subscribe and rate our podcast so we can reach more listeners. And don't forget to tell your friends, partners, and anyone who will listen about Between the Sheets. Send any comments, questions, or stories to podcastbetweenthe.sheets@gmail.com. It's all one word, podcastbetweenthe.sheets@gmail.com. Thanks for listening and go have some fun between the sheets.